Leaders and healers, gamers and claimers, ladies and gentlemen from around the universe, from around the globe, from around the community, welcome to the Power, Purpose, and Passion podcast. I am your host, Anthony Cheam, speaker, life coach, trainer, musician, singer, songwriter, friend to you, podcast host, ready to give to you everything I've learned, everything I've earned, everything I want to return to you in heart and soul, in mind and body, in spirit, so you can excel. You can claim your power, clarify your purpose, and cultivate your deepest, widest, and highest passions possible. So ultimately, you can show up as a better, more advanced, enhanced, upgraded version of yourself, enjoy life, and then ultimately, the ultimate success, ultimate fulfillment comes from then sharing what you've gained, sharing what you've learned, sharing what this journey is all about, and all of your experiences and all your love to the rest of the world, because that's what it's all about. That's when true fulfillment comes to its apex, to its pinnacle, when you're able to give for the sake of giving and want to and obviously through the desire and the hunger to transform this world. So thank you for joining us. This world is starving for people like you who are willing to be students of this material that I want to teach, I want to preach, and I want to give to the world. And I can tell you right now, I see a monumental shift in consciousness and transformation across the board, humans alike, caring for people around the globe, caring for people that they don't know, just because they're at a different level of consciousness, wanting to give from their heart without any thought of return. So that's what the show's all about, and giving to you everything of me in heart, mind, body, soul, and spirit. So thank you for joining us. Cameron, how you doing, my friend? What's going on?
I'm doing absolutely wonderful. I want to know what you mean by lighting this world on fire, because I've definitely seen when we got together. I think it was April 2018, just last year. It actually wasn't that long ago.
No.
Almost 2 years now, actually, about it. But
yes,
yeah, when we had everybody in that room, had like a circle of chairs, and I decided to rent out the room. We decided to rent out the room and just talk and just have a conversation with everybody. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because I think 3 hours in, we took a little break because it was like 3 hours straight, like we couldn't stop. It was something crazy like that.
Yes.
And you were like, how long was I talking? And me and Lalit were like, dude, you've been talking for like half the time. You were there for like an hour and 45 minutes just talking and talking and talking. It did not feel like that. It felt like you were lighting the room on fire, in the sense that you saw an opportunity and you saw a dozen there to listen.
Yeah.
Take it in. And I think that right there is that's your passion. And I think that's what I love about the podcast, is it gives you the opportunity to just fill everything. And
you're making me cry, man. Bring tears to my eyes, man. It's welling me up, man.
Yeah. So I don't know, with the topic of lighting this world on fire, I just wanted to comes to the podcast. Yeah. Already are lighting.
Thank you, dude.
Small way, or at least
yes.
Not literal flames.
Yeah.
Good vibes.
And an emblazoned heart, just wanting to share its fiery glow with the rest of the world. That's all I'm here for. I remember that day when you asked me, you said you were going to put together a group of spiritual people and have a little room. And I was in. I think we drove 2.5 hours to go there so I could speak. And I didn't get anything monetary out of it. I just wanted to speak this. You know something's your passion, and you know something that's fiery, burning inside you, like a burning desire, that it's so strong that you just want to give it and give it and give it and give. And there's just no sense. The giving part is the receiving part. You get what I'm saying? That's what is meant by saying, for it is in giving that we receive, because it's true. When you give of yourself fully, you yourself are already given. And as I say to a lot of people, don't give because you will receive. Give because you have already received so much. And I believe within everything in me that I've received so much in blessings and abundance in many different forms, that I want to multiply it for the many people that are listening to the show and the many people I'm interacting with on a consistent basis. And when I talk about lighting this world on fire, whether you're male or female, whatever stage you're in, I mean that metaphorically, but literally, as we said a couple episodes prior, hold nothing back, but literally, as St. Francis talks about how no amount of darkness, no matter how dark it gets, it could never, ever and I'm paraphrasing here, could hold a candle to one candle. It could never distinguish the power of one candle. And as Buddha says, a candle shared with 1,000 other candles doesn't diminish its own power. It magnifies it by 1,000 times. It doesn't diminish its own power. So when you actually share your fire and flame, a passionate flame with other people around you, that glow enhances and magnifies and starts to follow everyone around them. And that's what I mean by lighting this world on fire. And it's that great story of, I think it was not Jimi Hendrix, who's the famous reggae guy from Jamaica? Bob Marley. Yeah, it's Bob Marley. That's right. Why did I forget him? But he talked about how, he was shot a couple of times, almost died. And the very next day he was playing guitar and he was on stage and said, "Why are you doing this?" And he says, evil never goes to sleep. So I don't want to go to sleep either. It doesn't go to take a rest. Love doesn't take a rest either. And he said, light up the darkness. And man, that inspired me. It's such a beautiful, beautiful example of indicative of how powerful love and a burning desire can be. And when you have that burning desire, as Napoleon Hill repeated in his book, Think and Grow Rich, so much, it starts with that burning desire, that hunger, that starving for more. To learn more, to articulate yourself more, to broaden your skills so that you then can express all of you, the God within you, your own unique place in God, in this world, to the rest of the world, sharing it. So then you can inspire others to bring that out in them. That's what I feel when I'm on stage and I'm speaking with people. I'm in a coaching session. I just finished a coaching session before I came on this podcast, and I felt a deep connection with my client. It was unbelievable, and the person left feeling emblazoned, and I felt like I touched their soul and their fiery passion. I guarantee they left feeling good, and that's not. I don't take necessary credit for that. I truly believe that is a function of me surrendering to what's already there. That is divine love, unconditional love, and me surrendering to it, tuning into it during meditation, prayer, this hunger to want to serve and make the world better. And when you're aligned with that which created you, nothing is impossible. That the fire, infinite fiery flame that is inside all of us heats up the world, warms the world, touches the world at scales that evil and fear cannot even fathom. So when I say light up the world, what I mean, another way of saying is hold nothing back of your love. Give it all away. Give it, give it, give it, give it. And I know you do that too, Cameron, with your music, with helping me with this podcast and being a power partner on this podcast. And I'm so grateful every single day in my meditation. I thank the universe, thank God for sending you to me and all the things that you've provided me as well. And all the people listening to the show, my clients, my friends, my family. And that is one thing that I can say when he talks about lighting up the fire, light the fire, light this world on fire. What I also mean by that is having this burning, intense sort of friction inside you, that it wells you up, that the friction itself of gratitude and love starts to rub against your heart and your soul, that it brings tears to your eyes, that you're so grateful for the feet that you get to walk, you get the earth that you get to walk on this planet, the sun that you breathe in every day that warms this planet and provides nourishment for animals and insects and the oceans that we get to take our boats in and swim in and be beneficiaries of all the beautiful plants and everything. I just take it all in, and I'm so unbelievably bewildered beyond measure about how amazing this world really is. I'm not saying and I'm not denying that there's not problems in the world, poverty and people struggling with severe anxiety or depression or relationships or physical dis-ease. But one thing I definitely am certain of by far, that some of the most inspirational people that I've ever met in my entire life aren't the people like me. There are the people that are quadriplegics and are I remember hearing about this one person who was a quadriplegic, had no arms, no legs, and she would go to downtown, I think it's Chicago or Atlanta, and she would play piano with her tongue. No, okay. So she'd go on this little wheelie thing, wheel herself to the downtown core of Chicago or Atlanta, and she put this piano, and she played pretty decent piano with her tongue. And then City Hall said that she was an eyesore to society. And you know what she did? She fought it. She said, I'm going to fight this. And she won. And they asked her, why'd you do this? She's like, because I'm an independent. I'm not going to let this world, I'm not going to be just given everything. Yeah, I'm a little bit of a handicap. This is a woman that's on her, she has no legs, no arms, and she's playing the piano with her tongue. Those are the people. Those are the people that inspire me. Those are the people that are lighting this world on fire going, wow, I have healthy arms and healthy legs and a healthy mind. And man, I certainly, looking at that and reading about that and learning about that, I can certainly do more with my life for sure. No doubt. And I'm sure people listen to this podcast and listening to it or watching it on YouTube, whatever it is, I'm sure you feel the exact same way. You have gifts. You have talents, you have abilities, you've been given unique skill sets that none of us 7.5 billion people have, or combinations of such, that you can literally light this world on fire with your gifts, with your talent, with your love, with your caring. Everybody is a genius. Everybody is a genius. But if you judge a fish on its ability to climb a tree, it will spend its whole entire life believing it is dumb and stupid and a failure. I believe everybody has genius in them. And it's your responsibility, it's your obligation to go discover that whatever lights your heart on fire, whatever comes naturally to you. Because I can tell you right now, if I were to say to the audiences right now, if money was not an issue and you didn't have to work for money, nothing, what would you be doing? What's the one thing you'd be doing? And I can tell you with absolute, total certainty, I'd be doing exactly what I'm doing now with crazy amounts of energy probably, right? But the point, I'm doing it with crazier amounts of energy. That's what I'm doing. I'm living out my dharma. I'm living out the very pathway that God has designed for me. I found that probably in my mid-20s when I first went to a self-help seminar, and I was just blown away, not by necessarily like the leaders, but by the content. They weren't teaching this stuff in school. And as you said, our education system is pretty archaic. It's catching up. They don't talk about states of consciousness. They don't talk about levels of development. They don't talk about that we have up to 2 dozens of intelligences, not just cognitive or emotional quotient. We have moral intelligence. We have willpower intelligence. We have interpersonal intelligence. We have spiritual intelligence, not just somatic intelligence, athletic intelligence, and then linguistic, humanistic. If you can read history, or you can interpret Shakespeare, or even mathematical, deductible science, cognitive science. Those are the only 3 intelligence that our education system actually is able to look for. There are 2 dozen more that many people aren't taking advantage of and aren't being brought up in an environment where they're going, wow, you have this intelligence, you have this passion, you have this gift, let's nurture it. And unfortunately, our school system, it is getting better. I'm noticing that it's getting better because I'm coaching a lot of young teenage boys and girls, and some of their content in the work, they're talking about levels of intelligence. They're talking about emotional quotient. They're talking about gifts and talents. And so some classes are teaching this stuff. And so it's catching up. And I believe part of the reason why I do this podcast is to bring out the inspiration, bring out the passion in other people to go after their dreams, to go after what they were really meant to do. If you grew up in a family where it was expected that you had to run the family business and you had to go sell toilet paper, and it's 4 generations that have been doing it, and you decided to become a doctor and they're like scolding you for it, that's going to be one of the harder things to do, because you're leaving your family who's raised you. That's one of the harder things to do. But if your soul is speaking to you at your core, saying, go become a doctor, go become a writer, go act, go work with birds. I don't know what it might be for you. I remember that story a long time ago. There was this guy, he was a financial guru and genius, multi-millionaire, success on many different levels financially, and he decided he was sick of it. He was just sick of it, and he loved birds. He started studying birds and reading books about birds, everything he could find on birds, and he became an ornithologist. And then I think he became a PhD in it, and then started working for the museum, making not much money, but he loved it. He loved it. And so that to me inspires me. So that's why I ask you the question: if money really wasn't an issue, what would you be doing? What's something you'd be doing? And I remind people that John C. Maxwell, that great leadership guru, he's amazing. If you ever read his books, John C. Maxwell is his name. If you don't, I've never heard of him. But he talks about how 2 steps to success in life is do something you love to do so much that you gladly do it for free. I mean, I'm sure Cam would play music for free because he just loves it. And then number 2, get so good at that skill that people will gladly pay you for it. And I know Cam gets paid gigs for his music, and he probably, after his music, he looks at himself and gets a paycheck and goes, wow, it's funny, I would do this for free. I just love it. Money's just a bonus. Even for me, I do music for my church, and sometimes when I get the paycheck, I'm like, I'm like, I can't believe I'm getting paid for this, or even getting paid to coach people or speak in front of audiences. And when I get flabbergasted and overwhelmed when someone pays me for my book. Even they go, "Hey, can I buy a book off you?" I just want to give it to them for free. Like that. I just want to give it to them, and and I think that's you're not profit focused. You're people focused, and you're giving from a deep, genuine, authentic place. So that's what I think this show is all about: is giving from an authentic, genuine place that's natural to you. That's your own unique avenue of authenticity, and you honoring it with your thoughts, actions, and your daily habits. So, ladies and gentlemen, leaders and healers, it is an absolute pleasure to be on the show with you again. I can't say that enough. I continually repeat myself with so much energy and enthusiasm. It is. I'm bewildered and humbled by the fact that there are people listening on Instagram and Facebook and listening to this on many different podcast platforms that Cam releases. So if you have any questions or comments, we'd love to hear from you. Write me at anthony@anthonycheam.com. Comments, questions. I'd love to answer them live on the podcast and answer any of your questions. If you're going through a challenge, I'd love to try and help you. I certainly don't have all the answers, but I can certainly help you get to a place where you can certainly find your own through certain practices and principles. So thank you for joining us. To your continued upgrade and evolution, live it up with power, purpose, and passion. God bless you guys.